school.
Zendaya, a woman of many talents. Many stars are brought up with the idea of the glimmering world stage, and Zendaya has been brought up no differently.
I think it's so important that we raise each other up, we love each other, we appreciate each other, and I think that that's what this is all about. It's always a good energy here. There's always so much fun inside. It's one of those events that I really enjoy staying at and really having fun because it's I think it's a celebration of our talents and our beauty and everything like that, so I love it.
Not only has she passionately pursued her interests since elementary school, serving as a shining example of her true passions, but she became to be much more than that of what she had envisioned. Much more than just an actress.
So the best piece of advice I could give would just be to be patient with yourself, I think. I think we always want things to happen right away, and I know I'm very, very hard on myself. Allow yourself the time to grow and experience and learn and take the time that you need and not compare yourself to anyone else because everyone's journey is different.
A glamorous voice, an exceptionally unique fashion taste, and an electrifying stage enigma. Zendaya has won the hearts of many throughout her professional career. She emerged as a trailblazing figure, broke barriers in Hollywood, and challenged societal norms, inspiring a generation of fans with her authenticity, resilience, and commitment to social justice.
It's very important, I think, especially for people like me, you know what I mean, as a young person, I feel like everyone should have the opportunity at least to really discover the arts and know what they can do because you'll never know if you're not, exposed to it or have the ability to have it. So I think that it's a beautiful thing, and I think that, at least for me, because I'm so passionate about the arts and about that whole world, I think it's really special.
Her dedication and hard work received a number of accolades, including Primetime Emmy Awards and a Golden Globe Award, and was named one of the most influential people in the world. Zendaya went on to turn many heads from her teen years at Disney to her current rendezvous with star Tom Holland, and has ultimately become a shining example of innovation, inspiration, and glamour. Born and raised in Oakland, California, Zendaya is believed to have an extremely happy childhood. It is said that her humble beginnings is what ultimately makes her appreciate her stardom that bit more.
I'm short compared to a lot of people here, but I'm actually pretty tall. I'm 5'10", my mom is 6'4". My dad is a basketball coach. My mom played basketball in college. I was supposed to be the first woman in the NBA. That didn't happen. I went a different career path, but my parents had some different thoughts for me, but of course I love sports for as long as I can remember, but I just decided to go the artsy route.
Born Zendaya Marie Stormer Coleman on September 1, 1996, to both teachers Claire Stormer and Kazembe Ajamu Coleman. Her name derives from the Shona name Tende, which means to give thanks. Her relationship with her parents has been incredible to Zendaya. Not only have they been a support system that she has relied on for the majority of her life, but they have made it an absolute priority to stand behind their daughter no matter what. This is true, even after the two split up in 2016. Zendaya has always admired her mom for being a fierce, independent teacher. It is stated that her mom always went above and beyond to work towards an education that could lift her students far beyond their current circumstances. Zendaya's mother frequently juggled two jobs, while Zendaya and her father commuted between their home and Los Angeles for auditions. This arrangement provided the necessary financial support during the years Zendaya was auditioning. Having said this, her father made a significant sacrifice by resigning from his teaching job to make Zendaya's pursuit of a career in entertainment possible. She has 5 older siblings, of which are 2 brothers and 3 sisters. Throughout her life, she consistently looked up to her big sister, considering her as one of the most influential figures in her life. She also has a strong bond with her nieces and nephews, and often shares heartwarming videos of moments spent with them. Zendaya attended Fruitvale Elementary School, where her mother taught for 2 decades. Zendaya has later stated that if she hadn't pursued acting, her alternative choice would have been teaching, following in the footsteps of her very parents. At the tender age of 8, she joined a dance group called Future Shock Oakland and was a member there for 3 years. It was a hip-hop dance group, and she also spent a few years dancing hula with the Academy of Hawaiian Arts. She grew as a performer and went on to take part at the California Shakespeare Theater, where her mother worked a summer job as a house manager. She helped her mother with seat patrons and sold many fundraising tickets. As time went by, Zendaya would be inspired to pursue acting by watching some theatrical performances. She was taught at Oakland School of the Arts, and while she was there, the young actress would come to be cast in several roles in theaters. Her stage credits include performances in several of William Shakespeare's plays. She played Lady Anne in Richard II, Celia in As You Like It, and took part in a production of Twelfth Night. She would come to study at the Cal Shakes Conservatory program and at the American Conservatory Theater. When she was in 7th grade, the family moved to Los Angeles, and in 2015, while pursuing an acting career, she graduated from Oak Park High School. She began her working career as a fashion model, working for Macy's, Melvin's, and Old Navy, and was very quickly seen in an iCarly Toys ad. For Zendaya, it all started with Disney. She was a Disney darling for most of her teens. She would eventually come to have her big break at the age of 14, when she starred as Rocky Blue in the Disney Channel series Shake It Up alongside Bella Thorne. The show ran from 2010 to 2013.
What is your favorite Shake It Up episode?
It's so hard. That's really tough. One of my favorites is one that actually hasn't aired yet, and it's I can't really say much about it, but it's pretty crazy, and we go back in time a little.
Ooh, little time travel.
I would say my favorite episode is probably, I really like Reunion It Up, which is in the first season, and we get to be old, really old, and it was so fun to shoot. But I had this whole big bodysuit on, and it was like, I was dying. It was so sweaty.
This drama was about 2 best friends, Rocky and Cece, who dream of being professional dancers. Their dream begins to come true when they're accepted into the cast of Shake It Up Chicago. With their newfound fame, they go on wild trips and spontaneous travels together around Chicago and beyond.
I think we're just like our characters, except for the fact that my mom is not a cop. I do not have a younger brother. I have an older one. Yeah, I think I'm basically just like my character. I act a lot like her, and the only thing different is I don't dress like her a lot, but that's it. Basically, we're like kind of the same person. Well, technically, we are the same person.
Disney pretty much kickstarted Zendaya's career, allowing her to show off her dance moves, her vocal skills, and acting work. Like many several child stars before her, Zendaya went on to rule the entertainment industry.
Me, I was extremely shy. Bella can tell you, when she first met me, I was really shy, and I didn't talk. And we were like in the audition, there was a whole bunch of girls, and I just kind of was in the corner listening to Michael Jackson just by myself. And I was always really shy until I actually moved out to Los Angeles and started doing Shake It Up. That's when I kind of broke out of my shell, like you could say. Now I'm not shy at all, and I don't get nervous anymore. And I don't get those butterflies as much, but I like it.
Though many young Disney Channel stars have difficulty transitioning into a more mature acting career, Zendaya did so effortlessly. The senior vice president of casting for Disney Channel commented that Zendaya was completely engaging with a great presence, and that Thorne had high energy, and that viewers would want to get to know her better the instant you meet her.
Did you know each other before Shake It Up?
We didn't actually. We'd seen each other a few times, but it was just kind of like a hi, or a hi, you know, what's up? But we didn't actually even know each other's names.
Okay, that's a good question. And now you're best friends.
Exactly, that's right.
One goal for the two leads was to have chemistry working together. And Thorne said of her relationship with Zendaya, "When we first met, there was this energy. It was like we were meant to be together."
If you want to take off, what would you do?
I would probably be, let's see, that's tough. I couldn't really see myself doing anything else. Yeah, same.
What's been the funniest thing that's ever happened on set?
I think one funny thing, I walked into a wall.
You walk.
I walked
Climb
into a wall. I was talking to Adam and Zendaya, and Adam plays Deuce. And I don't know how it happened, but I was looking at them, and I just straight face into a wall. And then Zendaya was sitting on my couch with me on set.
This is a good one.
And
Technically, this is my embarrassing.
Yes, I'm sharing hers because it was really ridiculous. She had a vitamin water on the couch, and I was like, why does she have that there?
We're just sitting and like relaxing on the computer.
And then all of a sudden I feel like something really cold on my butt. And I'm like, what is that? Like, this feels weird. What is going on? Like, and I look,
My entire bottom is covered in vitamin water. And I was in an outfit that was in Rocky's clothes. It wasn't mine. So I had to go on camera and I had to be in front of an audience with that wet bottom. And I was like, oh no, what am I gonna do? So she had to
blow dry her butt.
and bring out a blow dryer and help me blow dry it off so that nobody would freak out.
But wardrobe did freak out because I still noticed it. And I had to go on with, they rewashed our clothes because it also got on mine, and it was like cold outside, we were shooting outside, and I had to go on with wet pants. Yep, the whole time with
Wet
soaking
jeans.
wet pants. I was very, very upset.
When Shake It Up came to an end in 2013, she went on to produce and act in KC Undercover, which also aired on Disney Channel.
Casey, are you okay?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just suddenly I feel a little sick to my stomach.
It sounds like you have food poisoning. What'd you eat?
I don't know, just that pasta that you made me.
What are you saying?
I'm saying you did this to me. You poisoned your own daughter.
Casey, do you honestly believe that I would ever poison anyone?
Well, you did it to the enemy agent in Luxembourg. It's how you got the nomination in the first place. You make me sick to my stomach. Literally.
While making her mark as a Disney Channel star, she also appeared in some original Disney movies, like Frenemies in 2012 and Zapped in 2014. These two movies are adapted from a book. In Zapped, Zendaya plays Zoe, which is a role different to most of her other Disney Channel portrayals. Her actions could cause viewers to slightly unlike her and send in lower ratings. If anything, this film sees Zendaya at a more serious stage, but also maintains that comedic balance that Disney Channel is known for. Zoe must learn that the world doesn't revolve around her and that some things should remain out of one's control. Unfortunately, the stigma surrounding child actors is not one necessarily of virtue. But Zendaya has defied the odds and gracefully transitioned to the respected actress she is today, starring in big blockbuster films such as The Greatest Showman and Spider-Man: Homecoming. While getting an incredible portfolio of Disney specials, in 2012, she signed to Hollywood Records. She released her first self-titled album, Zendaya, in September 2013.
What do I have coming up next? Definitely season 2 of Shake It Up just premiered, so we're super excited for that. Super excited for the fans to see what we've been working so hard on. Lots of music. I just came out with my first single, Swag It Out, so that's doing really well. Also, I did a single with Bella called Watch Me, and so I'm just working on my music, trying to make that happen and balancing school and life and everything else with it.
The single Replay became a sensational hit and peaked at number 40 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart. It sold just around 7,500 copies in its first week, and in 2014, she went on to release promotional videos of My Baby in her album, as well as the remix version.
I love it when you call me Big Papa. I'ma pick you up in the Benz. Your ex used to scoop you in a Honda. Now here we go.
Zendaya grew a love for experimenting with her style.
I like the fact that it was kind of like a simple dress and you can do anything with it, so it's like it's more about your how you style it. And so I like that it was very chic and easy. It's like a blank canvas and I could just have fun, and so we decided to pack on bracelets and big hoop earrings and crazy hair, and I think that kind of gives it a look of your own, that anyone can wear it and do their own thing with it. I have a stylist, he's right over there, and we work together. We're like the dream team, and basically, he knows my style, he knows what I'm comfortable with, what I feel, and we always try to push it a little bit. So, there's times where I'm like, come on, let's try this, and he's like, oh, I'm not a fan, and then he ends up loving it, and there's times where he's like, just try this, and I'm like, I don't really like it, and then I'm a fan. So it's just that, push and pull, give and take kind of thing.
As a child, she had taken the approach of mixing a bit of grunge with the girly, opting in for a unique result, pairing a ruffled pink dress with studded boots, chunky necklaces, and a denim shirt is one of many examples.
Of course, I think it's so important as somebody who, loves fashion or is interested in fashion to be around it, and actually see it happen. So it's exciting for me.
She often chose bright, bold colors, making her presence known.
I think fashion is kind of a way for us to express ourselves anyway, so just that coming hand in hand I think is really, really special. So I'm excited to be here tonight. I think it definitely, as like I said, a young woman in the entertainment industry, and it's just, I think fashion and everything is definitely my world, so I love being here. What I love most about the Grammys? The red carpets. I love to see what people are wearing, you know what I'm saying? That's always the fun thing, because the Grammys, people either go really classic and elegant or they just go wild, so we'll see.
Over time, her look adapted and changed, allowing public glamour to flourish and mature. She combined contrasting prints with an array of colors and bold accessories. It was true that Zendaya was, in fact, a showstopper. Her styles emerged from young teen fizzy pop to more elegant, colorful, and sleek looks, allowing for just that bit more awe on the red carpet. In 2009, Zendaya was a featured performer in the Kidz Bop music video Hot and Cold cover by Katy Perry, which was released on Kidz Bop 15. She later became a contestant on the 16th season of Dancing with the Stars. Her and her professional partner at the time received praise from the judges and gained the highest scores throughout the season. However, she placed runner-up on the final night. Despite falling short of claiming the trophy, Zendaya made her mark on history by being the youngest celebrity to grace the Dancing with the Stars stage at age 16. Notably, her record was eventually surpassed by 14-year-old Willow Shields in season 20. One of the things that Zendaya has seemingly struggled with when it came to her experience with Disney is that she did have some racially insensitive Disney sets. This was evident when it came to Zendaya's 2014 Aaliyah, the Princess of R&B, where the public felt that she was too light-skinned and did not greatly resemble Aaliyah. Loving the character herself, Zendaya felt that she could not do the character justice by playing less than what is Aaliyah and dropped the role. It was eventually passed on to someone else, and with Zendaya's extraordinary talent, she went on with her head held high. In 2015, Timbaland confirmed that they were working with Zendaya to release her second album. She stated that this album would be a new wave of R&B. It's where it should be going or should be heading. It's very old school, but it's a new age. It was also confirmed that she had signed a joint deal with Republic Records, making a switch from Disney. As if acting, dancing, and singing wasn't enough, the star also authored a book, Between You and Me: How to Rock Your Tween Years with Style and Confidence, which is a book directed towards Zendaya's Disney Channel fans. In this book, Zendaya shares her wit and wisdom on everything from fashion and friendships to following your dreams.
Well, you've obviously broken into the industry, so what advice do you have for girls trying to break in?
I would say, number one, surround yourself with positive people who are going to help you get to where you want to go. Two, make sure you really love what you're doing, because it's not going to be easy. There are going to be tough times, so you really have to make sure you have a passion for it. And three, go for it.
She also has her own clothing line, which she made inspired by Shake It Up's dance line. The collection features a vibrant array of leg warmers, shorts, activewear, jackets, headbands, and athletic apparel and accessories. She later also released Daya at the age of 20, another clothing brand, as well as a lifestyle app. The young star felt that public recognition and expanding her fashion empire was absolutely necessary, and she wanted to be able to make this brand as versatile as possible. Her celebrity status grew. It's no surprise that she would soon be performing alongside some other incredible stars, such as Taylor Swift. She appeared in her music video Bad Blood, portraying an assassin. Being an artist also comes with criticism, and this was seen at Zendaya's 87th Academy Awards red carpet look, where she received controversy for her faux dreadlocks, linking that to the appearance of drugs. Zendaya, in response, made it clear with a statement which read, "Just because someone has faux dreadlocks doesn't mean they're on drugs." She was seen with a wide smile of her look on a Barbie doll made by Mattel. There are not many people who can say they have an official Barbie doll in their likeness, but Zendaya Coleman is the latest celebrity to receive that distinction. She owned her identity, her culture, and became an inspiration to many young, bright-minded individuals.
I think if we continue to have these conversations and continue to push the boundaries and not be silenced and not be numb to those issues, then yes, I think we can make change, because we made a lot of change before. It's not something that we're foreign to. We know how to make change and we know how to do it, so we just got to keep on going. It's important to me, especially because it's important for young people, especially young women, to see women like themselves actually, to physically relate and be able to look at someone and say, wow, they look just like me, is a big thing, and they're doing this, or they're able to do this, and they're able to accomplish this. So for me, it's always been an inspiring thing, you know what I mean? When I see women of color in any kind of, capacity, really doing their thing and working hard and I don't know, excelling in their career. So I think for me, it's always been inspiring, and I know I try to, even though I'm 18, I think I always try to do that for the younger generation.
Throughout her acting career, she had always been around the many eyes of men. But when Zendaya's new character of Michelle, also known as MJ, met the eyes of Tom Holland's Peter Parker, speculation grew far and wide.
Zendaya, I was wondering what British stuff Tom has taught you about. Any slang you've picked up or anything you've learned up about British culture?
Other than the C word?
Yeah.
Let's see. I've
learned a bit of Cockney rhyming slang recently.
Yeah, and I find that like I do this thing when I'm around him for a while where I speak with British inflections but not the British accent.
Yeah.
Which is really strange.
You have like an English cadence while saying it as an American.
Yeah. Because you guys like ask questions like we go down, so we're like where are you going? And you guys, where are you going?
Yeah.
And then just kind of So
Your favorite one is I say, yeah, he was funny, wasn't he?
Yeah, funny one-y.
And she says that all the time.
Because you just said funny one-y.
Yeah.
Hey, funny one-y.
Yeah, he was funny, wasn't he?
Funny one-y.
That's brilliant. I love that.
Or something that is that. You always say that at the end.
Yeah, that was funny, that.
That
yeah,
was funny, that.
That was proper funny, that was. That. Yeah, you're right, we do that at the end.
At the end of something you already said that.
Yeah.
It was funny, wasn't it? One-y. That. Funny one-y, that.
He was funny, wasn't he, that? That was funny, wasn't it, that?
Your relationship with Tom, though, working on this, I love even on social media, seeing it. You guys are just constantly like having digs at each other. Has it just been like that the entire time working with each other?
Yes, it has. No, honestly, from the first day when the cast kind of first met each other, we all bonded like immediately. We had a day where we hung out with each other, went to a picnic and did like this whole thing. And then the next day we were supposed to have work, and our work was supposed to go do an activity and bond with each other. And we were like, we just did that yesterday. So all of us became friends so quickly. And then, with Tom, I think doing lip sync battle and and stuff like that, we're always paired together. So we have just become really, really close. And he's so great. He's a great person. And it's nice to know that like the superhero is also a good person.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I can't complain about having any type of pressure on my character because, he's Spider-Man. And he's handling it so well. So.
Yeah.
Spider-Man: Homecoming was released in July 2017.
Spider-Man's been in everyone's life.
Yeah. I feel like how can you grow up and not be around?
Yeah, it's so. What's so funny is that I didn't realize before how much people actually reference Spider-Man in other things.
In everything, yeah.
But it's everywhere, literally everywhere. It's so cool.
Zendaya described her character MJ as dry, awkward, and intellectual, adding that it was refreshing that MJ was weird and different, feeling that there are a lot of younger people today, especially young women, who can relate to that.
She's very interesting. I think she's always like observing, and she says her little one-liners, and I think it's cool to like embrace the weird. You know what I mean? Like have somebody that like makes the situation awkward, but doesn't care. Out of that comes a lot of comedy.
Right.
She's mysterious, but she likes it that way. Very intelligent, smart, always reading a book or thinking about something. You can't really tell what she's thinking, but when she does interact with people, because she's so smart, she comes off a little weird, right? And people don't quite understand her and what's going on in her head. And I think that I think it's cool. I feel like she's relatable in that sense to every kid that's just so smart that they just don't really have friends. But she secretly does want to have friends. She secretly does want to be friends with Peter and Ned. She just would never want them to know that.
The film grossed $117 million on its first weekend, ranking #1 at the box office.
So funny, he can save lives but can't ask you out on a date.
Right? You think that one would be easier than the other.
Thing.
Oh,
but
so great.
I feel like that's what this movie does so well is it illustrates how difficult that is when you're that age. Like that's scarier than jumping off a building and saving people's lives. Is like talking to your crush.
Right. And it's so crazy.
The stakes are much higher.
She also reappeared in Spider-Man No Way Home in 2021.
My favourite thing about MJ in this film that is something we haven't seen massively in the previous two films is how nurturing she is. You know, she really does become a shoulder for Peter to cry on, and I really like that we've been able to build our relationship like that throughout the films.
Much has garnered media attention when it came to Tom Holland and Zendaya's relationship, which many have described as playful, happy, and cute. The speculation about these two was going on for quite some time before anything was ever confirmed. It all started in 2016 on the set of Spider-Man's Homecoming. People instantly shipped the pair, even though the two weren't together at the time just yet. They both denied being together and ended up dating others. However, by 2021, the relationship was confirmed after pictures of them kissing in a car resurfaced the web. The rest is adorable history. Having grown up under the spotlight since being cast in Shake It Up at age 14, it comes as a surprise to some that Zendaya has managed to avoid the rebellious post-Disney phase. Although she feels a duty to be a role model for the young women who look up to her, she realizes that she can't allow herself to be scared of not always doing the right thing. I will make mistakes in my career, but I can try my best to make the best decisions that I can and learn from my mistakes. She has revealed that she wants to make a change in the industry by pursuing roles that weren't written for Black actors. For example, Spider-Man is said to have not been written that way, and Zendaya recalled hoping that the casting directors would, as they say in the industry, go ethnic. Refusing to miss opportunities on the basis of race, Zendaya has said, "I always tell my theatrical manager, anytime it says they're looking for white girls, send me out. Let me get in the room. Maybe they'll change their minds." She spoke candidly about being a Black woman in Hollywood and has since revealed that she drew on her experiences in an effort to encourage the industry to be more representative. Zendaya grew in her world of fame by also letting the public know that she cares about them and about people with illnesses. She has grown to be a huge support system to her many fans and of the wider public. In 2012, she became an ambassador for Convoy of Hope and encouraged fans to support Hurricane Sandy response efforts. The following year, she promoted other relief efforts.
It's awesome. You know, I really appreciate it because I love what they do and I'm very inspired by what they do. You know, both my parents are educators, so young people and kind of, I don't know, just kind of giving them something to kind of release their energy into and be a part of and feel like they're part of something bigger, I think is really important, especially if, like from a teacher's perspective. So.
Our next honoree's name means to give thanks in Shona, which couldn't be more fitting. She's an exceptional role model for young people everywhere, standing up for the joys of giving back and the importance of empathy and kindness.
It means a lot to me. I definitely think why it's so important is because, you know, sometimes you have to realize that you have a lot of things in your life and sometimes people don't. So
seeing things like this, you don't have any clue how important it is and how much it really does affect their lives. I think that, you know, idle time is the devil's workshop, right? So being able to have something that they can hold on to and they can be a part of means so much. And just kind of seeing that and being actually there on the ground and understanding that is so beautiful. So I appreciate everything that you do and thank you.
In 2014, she recorded John Legend's All of Me, with a portion of the proceeds going to the organization. The same year, she celebrated her 18th birthday with a campaign to help feed at least 150 hungry children in Haiti, Tanzania, and the Philippines.
Today, I'm here to surprise some of our trick-or-treaters. We have this amazing school here, and I cannot wait to meet them and just talk to them and make sure they know that I am watching them, and I'm very, very thankful for all the work that they've done, and hopefully inspire them to just go out there and continue to support the cause. I am the spokesperson for Trick or Treat for UNICEF, which is very exciting for me, given that I was a UNICEF trick-or-treater for elementary school, my entire elementary school. So I already knew about it. I was already aware with the work that UNICEF had done and continued to do. So when they kind of came to me about the whole project and the interest, and I was just like totally on board and totally ready to go. What does it mean to trick or treat for UNICEF? It means that, you know, I think it says it on the box, really, kids helping kids. I think not only are we helping people and we're, you know, making a difference and providing things for children that they actually need and like just basic things that you would just assume that people would have the luxury of having that don't. But we're also in the process, I think, teaching humanity, we're teaching love, we're teaching sharing, giving, kindness. There's so many things that we're learning as well in this process, and I think it's really important to start kids off young kind of thinking that way, because at least for me, when I did it, now look at me now kind of still being a part of UNICEF and still I guess you say trick-or-treating. This year, what's really cool is if you don't have the orange box, if it's not in your school or you haven't ordered yours, you can actually go online and basically, I would say virtually have a little orange box and kind of set up a donation page that you can notify your friends, family about, and still be a part of the cause, still donate more, if not as much as anybody else would, and still make a difference, but just in a much easier, new age kind of way. Hi. We have matching shirts. Okay, I'm gonna let the shock set in.
Zendaya supports campaigns to raise awareness about underserved communities, underprivileged schools, and to financially support schools.
Well, I think it's important that young people feel accepted and feel loved and feel that they have a support system and people behind them. And so I think that, you know, young people, like I've said a million times, are the future, and it's important that we cultivate that young people's minds and allow them to be exactly who they are. So.
In September 2017, she partnered with Verizon Foundation as a spokesperson for their national We Need More initiative to bring technology, access, and learning opportunities to children.
Much rather be known for the kind of human being that I am than the last project that I did. And I would much rather people respect me for that part of who I am. So I think it's just kind of demanding that respect and also continuing to project that upon others as well. It's really important.
In December 2017, Zendaya co-starred in the original musical film The Greatest Showman. She portrayed a trapeze artist who falls in love with Zac Efron's character at a time when interracial romance was taboo.
Of course, in the beginning, you're like, eh.
Of course. Well, you gotta understand that, like, this woman is experiencing this. You know, this is something that she deals with every day, that she's confronted with and she faces with and she walks around with, but not for his character, you know? So this is an entirely new world for him, and she's explaining, like, no. This does not happen. You don't understand. This is dangerous. This is not gonna happen. And so it's that idea of knowing in your mind what you think is right, but then also having to, at some point, let your heart speak louder than your mind and just follow what your heart is saying. And that's very difficult, especially at the time, especially with the dangers, especially given the circumstances. But I think, again, it's so relevant to now. You know, people still try to tell people who they're allowed to love. And that's just not how it should be.
She appeared on 3 tracks of the film soundtrack, including Rewrite the Stars. Zendaya also unveiled Bloomingdale's Holiday Windows, which was inspired by The Greatest Showman. This window served to highlight the exclusive partnerships the store has with a number of brands and personalities that created products inspired by the razzle-dazzle of the movie, And what better star to have the face of the store other than fashion icon Zendaya?
Hit it!
I'm very excited. You know, it's definitely that time of year, and I feel like because I work so much, I never get to enjoy the holidays and, like, you know, fully soak up all the fun stuff that happens during the holidays, which is things like this. So it's kind of lucky that my job has allowed me to do something that's actually really fun and really cool. And I wish my whole family was here to see it. I'm so excited.
The idea was to take elements of the film and have it make sense for someone that was going to a holiday party, but without being too literal. She designed 5 dresses for a brand named Aqua, one of Bloomingdale's in-house brands.
I did this collaboration with Bloomingdale's and Aqua, and basically, you know, we wanted to do pieces and things that were inspired by the movie, but also were wearable for a girl going to a cocktail party or going to you know, a holiday event. You know, so obviously there's no trapeze artist wear, but there's some inspiration. There's a little glitter, there's a little shine, you know, without being too literal, you know.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, get ready for the greatest Bloomingdale's holiday celebration ever. Let's begin.
This is so fun, and again, it's during one of my favorite times of the year, so it's great. It's like a warm, fuzzy feeling, like stepping out of the car and like seeing the lights and the holiday stuff. It's like, it's a good feeling. I just feel like I need like hot chocolate or something, you know?
And then, just around the corner, she earned an Emmy Award. Not 1, not 2, but 3 Emmy Awards. 2019, Euphoria set the world on fire with her serious portrayal of Rue Bennett, a 17-year-old girl addicted to drugs who returns from rehab and struggles to become sober while finding her place in the world. She has an on and off relationship with her partner Jules, whom she often lies to in her struggle to stay clean during their relationship. Not only does she play a part in this TV series as an actress, but she also serves as the series' narrator and knows intimate details about various other characters. The drama follows Bennett's group of friends as they navigate life, from relationships to trauma and social media. Zendaya's raw portrayal of such a complex character led her to win 2 Emmys in 2020 and another in 2022, making her the youngest person to win the acting card twice.
I promise you, if I could be a different person, I would. Not because I want it, but because they do. But here's the thing. One day, I just showed up without a map or a compass. And at some point, you have to make a choice.
Euphoria tackled themes different from her shows before. Not only did it explore adult content such as drug addiction and drug use, but it also dealt with a lot of major issues that many of today's youth face, such as abusive relationships, body image, LGBTQ+ issues, and friendship. Although Zendaya doesn't have personal experience with drug addiction, she was still praised for her acting abilities. She was able to emerge from her young pop teen years at Disney to being able to appeal to a wider array of audiences with topics of uppermost sensitivity and heart, connecting her fans, staying humble, and making everyone feel included. She is now a blockbuster superstar with Dune. Zendaya's passion for film only becomes bigger and brighter every single year, and in 2021 came Dune. This story revolves around a noble family entangled in a conflict for dominance over the galaxy's most prized resource, all while the family's heir grapples with unsettling visions foretelling a dark and ominous future. Zendaya plays Chani, who in the books is born Chani Kynes, making her the daughter of Liet Kynes. Chani is Paul's lover and eventually his partner in ruling the galaxy. Paul never ends up marrying Chani, but instead goes on to marry someone else in order to institute himself into the Emperor's family. Although she narrates the opening of the film exceptionally well and plays a considerable part in Paul's dreams, Chani is actually not in much of Dune's Part 1, and this is because the film only covers about 500 pages of the novel, with much more of the storyline of the film still underway. Having said that, Chani has been noticed for her appearance in the movie In Paul's Dreams. His prescience begins manifesting even though they haven't met yet. Chani maintains a strong grip of her character, showcasing her fragility and lethality. Dune Part 2 released in March 2024, and director Denis Villeneuve had said that Zendaya's role would be expanded significantly.
What do I like most about playing Chani? I think what I really appreciate that Denis brought forward with Chani in this iteration, I think, is really giving her strong convictions and a real strong sense of self. And I think for me, that was enjoyable as an actress because it made the whole love story much harder and more difficult, which means we had to earn it. And their love isn't given. It's something that they, they have to work for.
It's breathtaking. When you see sand here, imagine water. If you dive in, you can't reach the bottom.
You dive in.
Yes, it's called swimming.
I don't believe you.
What would you give to be back filming those incredible desert scenes now?
It was absolutely beautiful. I mean, I got to see views that I think very few people get to see, and I was able to really be submerged in the world of Dune. I felt like I was literally in Arrakis. So I was incredibly grateful for the whole journey, and very excited for more people to see it. And I hope everyone enjoys it because I would love to revisit these characters and experience it all again.
The opportunity to work with Denis, I think he's an extraordinary filmmaker and has always been someone that I also admired. So stepping into that, I was like, I don't have much time, and there's so many people that I have to hopefully stand next to and do somewhat of a good job, and it was intimidating and scary, but as soon as I got there, there was such a warmth and an embrace that I felt immediately comfortable and taken care of, and all I had to do was be guided, and Denis opened up and explained the world to me, and was able to do that in a short amount of time, and everybody was so welcoming, and it was a beautiful experience. I was only there for a few days, but I felt like I had been very quickly a part of a family. So yeah, I appreciate all of you guys for making it such a wonderful time, and I feel extremely grateful to just be a piece of this really gorgeous puzzle that is Dune, So very, very humbled, and it was a special, special time.
Part 2 released in March 2024, and within the first weekend received notably better than expected $482.5 million domestically and $100 million overseas, for a global start of $182.5 million. Already peaking amongst the glimmers of hope, Zendaya has also opened up about the possibility of a third film too.
She comes into it extremely guarded, with a lot of pain surrounding what Paul really represents in her life. And so I think for me, it was exciting because I was like, oh, there's this internal, constant dialogue I think she's having with herself over whether or not she should allow this person in, and whether or not it is safe to love. And I don't know. So the love story was interesting to find with someone who is so intensely fierce and strong and guarded for good reason.
Dune came to be a box office success, earning $402 million on a $165 million budget. Whether it's in the world of film or television, music or fashion, Zendaya has proved that she's a jack of all trades. The actress has been active in the industry for over a decade and has reached unparalleled heights since her days with the Disney machine.
Don't care about other people's opinions. That's what I think is the number one thing. And when you step outside and you do what you do, dress and live for yourself and for the satisfaction of yourself, a lot of people do that just so someone can tell them that they're pretty. But the person that you should be waiting to hear "I'm pretty" from is yourself.
During the 74th Emmy Awards, Zendaya celebrated a historic win as she accepted the award of Outstanding Lead Actress for her role in Euphoria. The win marked that the 26-year-old star had become the youngest ever woman to win 2 Emmys in the same category and the first Black woman to win Lead Actress twice.
They need to love themselves, and that it takes time. It's not something that happens overnight. No one is born with perfect confidence. No one just comes out the womb like, oh, I feel fabulous. You know what I mean? It takes time, and you need to know that there are tons and tons of other women dealing with the same exact struggle, and you can go through that change at any point in your life. You know, my mom recently just kind of, I think, became more confident and came into her own, and she's a grown woman, you know? So it's something that can happen at any point in your life, and know that you are on your own clock, you are on your own time, and not to rush yourself.
In her acceptance speech, Zendaya said, "I just want to say, my greatest wish for Euphoria was that it could help heal real people." She continued, "I want to say a thank you to everyone who has shared their story with me. I want you to know that anyone who has loved a Rue or feels like they are a Rue, I want you to know I'm so grateful for your stories. I carry them with me, and I carry them with her." Zendaya, a woman of many talents.